And we go straight to the Parliament today as members of Parliament resume sittings. And with this, today is a big day as the National Assembly resumes business after taking a Christmas break end of last year. Now, the National Assembly will be resuming at a time when a High Court ruling has put the Speaker and leadership of the August House on the spot. Now, eyes are on Parliament to see whether the court order that stripped the government of its majority status will take effect. For analysis on this, let us now link up with our political affairs reporter, Jeff Kirui, who was in Parliament. Kirui, what do we expect in Parliament this afternoon, coming just in the wake of the court ruling that was made?
Well, Seto, very good afternoon indeed. What we expect is fireworks following that ruling of the High Court. That is the three-judge bench that invalidated a ruling that was given by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, in October 2022 that declared Kenya Kwanza is the majority side and Azimio is the minority side. And that ruling actually gave way for the Azimio side that they are indeed the majority in the National Assembly. And right now, I'm joined by Matungulu Member of Parliament, Stephen Mule, who will be giving us insights on what to expect exactly today in the National Assembly, in the chambers, following that ruling by the High Court. And remember, over the weekend, the Wiper Party leader, the remaining Azimio co-principal, actually directed their members in the National Assembly to occupy the right side of Parliament, that is the majority side, following that ruling. And now, Mheshimiwa, welcome to KTN News. Maybe perhaps you can give us what to expect today after that directive by your party leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, that you need to occupy the majority side in Parliament in line with that ruling of the High Court.
Thank you very much, Kirui. First and foremost is that today we want to uphold the rule of law and the Supreme Constitution of Kenya, whereby it's very clear that Azimio is the majority, has majority numbers in Parliament and will occupy the majority side of Parliament. I want to remind my colleagues and members of Parliament that we are an oversight house, and that makes it very clearly that each group can sit in any side. So first and foremost, all of us, we took an oath to uphold the Constitution. So I would expect the Kenya Kwanza team to respect the Constitution and move to the minority side without any ulabalau. Secondly, I want to urge our colleagues in the Azimio side that we occupy the majority side. And if you remember very well, the last term of President Biden, that in the US, Republicans were more than the Democrats. And that gives us the envisage what the drafters of our Constitution thought, that House to be the House of oversight. And it does not mean that we cannot oversight the executive, but we can oversight the executive effectively as the team which had the majority and the team which we are not in bed with the executive.
There are some who argue that Azimio, as it stands now, is a moribund political party. And they're arguing that now this ruling has been overtaken by events, considering even the sentiments that had been given earlier by the party leader, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, saying that they will be looking for new partners even heading to the 2027 election.
You know, there's something called preparation for the future. What you have said is a preparation for the future. Let's deal with the actual. The actual is very clear. We were robbed our right as Azimio by Honorable Speaker Wetangula in the House, and he never followed the Constitution. Our Constitution, chapter 73, it's very clear on how to behave as a state officer. Article 73, which gives the Speaker, one, an opportunity to apologize to Kenyans. Two, to make sure that the actual and the virtue of the Constitution is followed. Three, allow the owners of the majority of the House occupy their space. Because at the end of the day, he has been faulted. I know is willing to appeal, and the appeal, why they want to appeal is very clear, to drag the issue again for another 2 years so that the term can end. But I want to remind Honorable Wetangula that this country has evolved big time on democracy. Will not be surprised in future. People will want him to be accountable of the mistake he has done, because surely the people of Kenya speaks through elected members of parliament, speaks about elected leaders in this country. So basically, he would have allowed the actuals of the will of the people to take place, but he did not. He contravened. Actually, the honorable Wetangula and the Speaker of the National Assembly, a lawyer who I respect so much and a friend, if he was honorable enough, he could have resigned. If this happened in the US and in the democracies which have grown, today we'll be not even talking of who to occupy the majority side. We'll be talking of electing a new speaker to the House. And let's remain with the reality. This country is undergoing a lot of pains and a lot of common man and a lot of suffering. Why? Because of bad political and personal interests in this country.
So, talking about resigning, are you thinking of instituting another way of removing him as a Wiper Party or as Azimio coalition now?
For me, I've said that if he's honorable enough, the first thing you need to do is to honor up, I messed up the House, and resign. 2, we are still in communication and also consultation with various people, various bodies, on how to handle the issue. It's a delicate issue, whereby the number 3 in the country has committed a mistake, and the mistake has been verified and admitted by the courts. Now, the question is, how do we deal with that? It is not a simple matter. So I don't want to preempt what consultations are, but I know they are there, even if it's to go back to court, all the way to Supreme Court. But I'll assure you, this is a long, protracted issue whereby it can end up in a very different directive. Even if the term of this House ends, the Constitution is very clear. He must be held accountable of the mess.
Currently, as it stands, we know that ODM party is holding the leadership position in the National Assembly. That is in terms of the minority leader and the whip position. Now, have you managed to reach out to them on what exactly the position they are going to take today when the National Assembly resumes its sittings in the afternoon?
I want to say very clearly, we as Azimio, we still hold our own position, and I've seen the majority whip, Honorable Mule requesting us to be in the House in the afternoon. So basically, as Azimio, we want to do the right thing. We want to uphold the Constitution, and we want to show Kenyans things can be done differently, not on personal interest. And I want to read to Kenyans, Article 73 of this Constitution is very clear regarding the issues of personal interest. It says, on the issue of leadership and integrity, that is Article 73, it says, a state officer shall behave, whether in public, official life, in private life, in association with other persons, in a manner that avoids any conflict between personal interest and public or official duty. You don't need any theologist, any historian, any geographer to interpret that. It is very clear that the Speaker of National Assembly, Honorable Moses Masika Wetangula, contravened the Constitution of Kenya, taking his personal interest as the chairman or the leader of Ford Kenya, and in association with the Kenya Kwanza regime to perpetrate a crime against the will and the wishes of the Kenyans people. It goes ahead and saying, compromising any public or official interest in favor in favor. The word in favor, put it in brackets. He did this in favor of Kenya Kwanza because he was in cahoots with Honorable William Ruto. So for me, it's a matter of integrity. It's a matter of giving Kenyans a new direction. And you know, Gen Zs went to the streets and even evaded the house because they thought that the house is not upholding the constitution, the house is not doing justice to Kenyans, the house is not doing the right thing. Gen Zs, now you know who is the culprit, who has taken the house to that end. Is the speaker himself, because he's the leader of the entire house. So he must be just. He must take responsibility of this. And as members of parliament, this afternoon, we must demonstrate that we took our oath based on the constitution, and we should uphold the constitution. And the right thing to do this afternoon is Kenya Kwanza move to the minority, and Azimio move to the majority, and we proceed on oversight in this executive. And I believe basically would have done a better job to oversight William Ruto than what Kenya Kwanza have done, because they have just become a sing and praising choir for him.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. There you have it. So it appears like there will be fireworks in the National Assembly at the floor of the House, but we will be waiting for the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, to give directive on what will be the next course of action. We understand that there is an appeal that is being expected at the Court of Appeal anytime from now, appealing on that decision of the High Court. But what happens now is a wait and see on the directive and the ruling that will be given moving forward from today. Back to you, Aseto.
Yes, indeed, Jeff, they're telling us that he expects fireworks in Parliament today, and we shall be here to bring you all of that, including the decisions that will be made in the August House. Be sure to join us for that. But now let's take a short commercial break. We will be back with much more. Don't go nowhere.